Yeah.
Now, Laurie, you mentioned a word that I just didn't maybe quite understand the music, and that word was...
Vaudeville?
Yeah, vaudeville.
Vaudeville.
What is... I haven't heard vaudeville music. What is that?
I, in addition to entertaining through music, I also like to educate on the history of American music, which is really the greatest music. All other countries wish American music was their music, and that starts with jazz and blues, of course, which are great foundations of music. And at the turn of the century, maybe into the 1910s, vaudeville theater grew up. Actually the white vaudeville theater started in the city of Boston and became a city live performance where just men would go to theaters to be entertained on this semi-risque form of theater. Then it became more widely acceptable, and women and families could attend. And vaudeville performances were variety acts where musicians would come, acrobats, jugglers, comics, etc. At that time, there was segregation among black and white populations, and the blacks developed their own vaudeville theater around 1919, 1920, and that vaudeville was performed in southern cities in black-only theaters. And those women that performed the musical acts became the classic blues stars that we've come to know: Mamie Smith, Ida Cox, Edith Wilson, Trixie Smith, a number of different women who were very glamorous. It gave them an opportunity for potential stardom. And what they meant by the classic blues singers is jazz bands would be brought in that were very sophisticated in their musical ability, as opposed to the traditional, more primitive blues. And they would bring female blues singers to sing. And so that was a very short-lived period of music, African-American vaudeville, that died out at the Depression, as did those theaters. Now, as we're very much as a country into historic preservation, there have been quite a bit of effort put into restoring those old theaters, the Howard in Washington, D.C. being one of the more well-known examples. But I like to, the song that you heard there when we came in from the break was written by Sippy Wallace. Her real name is Beulah Thomas, and she and her two brothers were vaudeville-era writers. And I try to do the songs that came out of that period that have really, been lost in the American consciousness, so just trying to keep that history alive.
Is that a hint?